Hello, welcome to Hoagie's Ukulele Studio here in Broomall, and we're going to talk today about some thoughts about strumming your ukulele. The ukulele is made to be strummed, and it's it's nice and small. You can take it with you, and it's great to have a accompaniment for your singing or just to play along. It's really fun. But strumming is the main thing. I feel like for the ukulele, it is also fun to finger pick and play around with. But we're going to be thinking about some of the concepts of strumming the ukulele. Now, when I play, because the ukulele has nylon strings, it's a little easier on your fingers than a banjo or a guitar with metal strings. You don't really need a pick, but you do want to maybe put your fingers together like as if you had a pick in your hand with your thumb and your index finger of your strumming hand. And we want to think in terms of just keeping our wrists nice and loose and getting that kind of up and down action. For most of the exercises for this, I'm going to just be dampening my strings uh, and strumming the ukulele like this. We're not going to think about the fretting hand right now. We're mostly going to be concentrating on the strumming. So you want that nice loose thing. I rest my arm on the back of the ukulele here, so that my hand is, if I just let it be limp, it's just sort of right there. And then you want to sort of get an up and down motion going. Put your fingers together. Get yourself strumming. Now, when we strum, the usual strum pattern, we're strumming downwards on the beat and then upwards on the upbeats or the ands. So if we were to play straight eighth notes in 4/4 time, it would sort of look like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. If you strum up and down, you can obviously play more things, but you want to feel nice and comfortable strumming your ukulele. So hopefully once you get your strum together, you won't have to think about that part of it as much, and you can think about more your fretting and the chords you're playing and the notes that you're picking. So if we look at exercise 1 on the Strum Thoughts worksheet, exercise 1, the rhythm is 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and in this case, we'll be going down strum for the 1, down strum for the 2. The and of 2 will come back up, down strum for the 3, down strum for the 4. So again, our rhythm: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down and down, up, down, down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and I have some examples from the songs that we're going to work on learning in the workshop. The first one is Morning Has Broken, and that's in 3/4 time. So there's only 3 beats in the measure, but the rhythm pattern is 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So we'll use our downs on the numbers, up on the ands in this pattern. 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 1 and 2 and 3 and. So I'm just going to change do the first 2 chords It changes every beat in the verse of Morning Has Broken, and that's what we're going to be working on, is the verse of Morning Has Broken. So it sounds like this: 1, 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2. A little faster than what we practiced, but we want to start slow, make sure we get it in our wrist and then in our brain, can wrap our brains around it, and then we'll try it. So in the actual tempo of the song is about 1, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and. So I'm changing those first two chords, the C chord, and then I'm doing the D minor chord. One, 2, and 3, and 1, 2, and 3, and. So as you feel more comfortable, you can start to up your tempos, and you want to have a good idea of all the ranges of tempos. So again, working with the metronome on slow tempos, medium tempos, and fast tempos as well. So the other music example from this is the intro part to 8 Days a Week. That rhythm is in 4/4 time, and it's 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. This is the intro to 8 Days a Week. 1 and 2 and 3, 4, and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. And so our numbers 1 and 2 are going to be down, and then the and of 2 up, beat 3 down, beat 4 down. So again, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4, 1 and 2 and 3, 4. And on 8 Days a Week, it's about like this. Boom, ba do do, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and down, up, down, 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 up, down, down, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so at at different tempos, you can do different strums. But when we're at slower tempos, or if we have moving notes or 16th notes, we're going to be subdividing to another level. So if we have 16th notes in the rhythm, I usually play the number beats and also the ands as down strokes, and then the e's and the uhs are up strokes. So in a 16th note pattern, that's complete 16th notes, it would be 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and if we do less than that, we would only play the strums that we would normally play, but just play the ones that we need. So in the case of example 2, you'll see that it's less than all 16th notes. In fact, it's 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. Let me slow that down a little bit. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and. So in this case, since we need those 16th notes in beat 4, we're going to play everything else as a down stroke or down strum. 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E, 3E and 4E and 1E and 2E and 3E and 4E and 1. And the example that I'm going to use is from the last song that we'll be working on, Dear Prudence, and this is a little intricate. This rhythm, it's 1 and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 and a 2 E and so 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1. Yeah. I like to use drum speak or some way to verbalize what that rhythm sounds like to me. Doom da 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 check that doom da 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 doom da 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 da. So our E's and Ah's will be upstrokes, our beats and our ands will be downstrokes. So 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1. Slow that down a little bit. 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E, the 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E, the 3 E and 4 E and a 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and 4 E and a 1. So we use that in Dear Prudence going down the chord progression. So I hope these strumming ideas have helped to illuminate a little bit more for you your playing of your ukulele, and keep working on those chord shapes and practice your strumming. And next thing you know, we'll be learning songs.